comfort. They came because they wanted to bring him some comfort. They weren't doctors. They didn't have medicine. They didn't even bring doctors with them. They did not anoint him. They did not grease him, massage him. They didn't come to pay his bills, to restore his finances. They came, it says, to comfort him. And while they were still a long way off, they saw Job, but did not recognize him. And when they did, they began to weep and wail, tearing their clothes in grief and throwing dust into the air and on their heads. Then they sat there on the ground with him for 7 days and nights without saying a word, because they saw how much he was suffering. They came, and what made me think about this was when Deaconess Wright shared about her son coming. Sometimes you stretch yourself out beyond what is normal. You go out of your way in a sense. Sometimes you know you got all this to deal with, you got all that to deal with, you got all this to deal with, but you turn around and you stretch yourself. Not because it's doing you some good, but because it'll do somebody else some good. One of the nights, one of the days, rather, while we've been up in Wilmington at the DuPont Hospital with my baby boy, I left out that morning to go see a doctor. Dennis had a dental appointment, and came back that early evening. And as I walked into the room, my baby brother, some of you met him, he plays drums. He was my father's last son, born in Chicago. His name is Reginald Gerard Moore. That was a name I had planned on using on my next son in case I had any more, but it didn't look like I would have any more, so Dad liked it and he took it. And I said, I didn't think you had need for it anymore either. But he did, and he took it and gave it to Reg. I looked up there, and there he was in the hospital room. He's on Facebook all day long, but he held off on posting anything because he didn't want me to know that he was there. And he just, he walked up to me, he did the same thing the time he just did. He walked up and just put his arm around me. And I'm mentioning this to you because sometimes you just need a friend. Sometimes you just need somebody to do something that lets you know that they care. This boy, and I keep saying boy because he's the youngest of us all, he flew from Chicago. And I asked anybody to pick him up, rented a car, got a hotel, and stayed in the hotel close to the hospital for the 2 nights that he was going to be there. And spent over $400 by the time he added all those balloons. He brought about 6 or 7 of those balloons you may have, you see him give to people because you can't give them flowers in the ICU to add to River's garden. But he, basically what I'm saying is that he didn't ask me to reimburse him. He didn't ask me to send for him. He just came at his own expense. And then he left. And it was just good to know that somebody would stretch themselves a little bit more in order to be there with you at a time when you needed, without you asking or suggesting that anybody should. And it's not something that he just did on his own, because it happened a long time before he ever came on the scene. Okay? They weren't sent for. They weren't asked to come. And they didn't come because they could bring any help to the situation. He still had to go through what he had to go through. But what did happen for him was to know that his friends came to comfort him. Now, those of you who know the story know there's more to it than just that. But their intention was to comfort. We as people, sometimes we try to help, and sometimes we don't do all the best as it could be. Sometimes we leave something out and something left on the table. And in our best intentions, sometimes we're all faced just a little bit. But he came with a good heart. And my word to you is, as we go into 2016, let's go into it with a good heart, with good intentions, with an attitude toward one another to be a blessing, to be a help toward one another. And then let things work out however they work out. Whatever the circumstances are, God has control of all that. But let our hearts be right when we go into it. Let it be, I didn't come because I felt I could do you a whole lot of good, but I came because I wanted to let you know that I care. I'm with you because I want you to know that I care. I want to be a blessing to you because I want you to know that I care. And that's it. Show some caring. Be genuine. And I believe that God is going to bless us in a very unique way. And if you don't mind, stand up on your feet very quickly. Those of you who will do so, stand up on your feet. Turn around and